Welcome, everyone. If you're someone who is seeking clear direction and true, lasting success in your life, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking some deeply profound ancient texts that have the power to completely transform how we handle our modern anxieties. So let's just dive right into this explainer and discover the spiritual secrets hidden in Proverbs chapters 1, 3, and 8.
Let's be real for a second here. Do you ever feel like you are pouring literally all your energy into your job, your business, or your studies, and yet the results just don't match the effort? You're working day and night, grinding away, but you still find yourself stuck at a crossroads. You're carrying the heavy responsibility of your career and your family, and you're just completely unsure of which path leads to success and which one leads to a dead end. And man, it is an incredibly heavy feeling, right? We poll our friends for advice, we try to logic our way out of it, or we find ourselves frantically Googling for solutions at 2 a.m. And yet, we still lie awake, tossing and turning, filled with confusion. There's this lingering, stressful dread that just one wrong decision could drag us or the people we love most into serious trouble. Well, if you are living with that kind of anxiety right now, the wisdom we are about to decode from these texts is going to change not just how you think, but how you live.
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at life's dilemmas. Second, Chapter 1, Knowledge's Start. Third, Chapter 3, Complete Trust. Fourth, Chapter 8, Wisdom's Value. And finally, Rules for Divine Success.
Starting with Section 1, Life's Dilemmas, the Limits of Human Understanding.
You know, when we hit a major roadblock in life, our default human mode is usually pretty flawed. The source notes that there are essentially two categories of people when a crisis hits. The first group relies entirely on their human intellect. They look at their college degrees, their bank accounts, their worldly street smarts, proudly thinking, I don't need anyone's advice and I certainly don't need prayer. Then you have the second group. They approach life with humility. They recognize that no matter how much worldly knowledge they rack up, their every step is incomplete without seeking divine direction first. It's really the difference between this anxiety-inducing arrogance and the profound peace of spiritual guidance.
Which brings us to Section 2, Chapter 1, Knowledge's Start, the Foundation of Divine Wisdom.
Proverbs 1:7 states, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." This is brilliant because it illustrates the exact starting point of all true understanding. The text makes it absolutely crystal clear. If you want to make the right choices, you don't start by being shrewd or cutthroat in the ways of the world. You start by bowing in the presence of God.
But hold on, we really need to clarify a term here. Fear of the Lord gets misunderstood all the time. It does not mean you're supposed to live your life shaking in literal terror. Not at all. Actually, it means deeply respecting God, honoring His holy words, and, this is key, giving Him absolute first priority in every single decision you make. It's about starting your day connecting through prayer and the Word to gain a clarity that, honestly, no worldly knowledge can offer you.
The text in Proverbs 1 also offers this super practical, very modern warning. It tells us to beware the illusion of the shortcut. In verse 10, King Solomon warns against following bad company or giving in to the temptation to lie, cheat, or cut corners for a quick win. People around you might say, come on, everyone is doing it, but this path is a total trap. The source emphasizes that success gained through dishonest shortcuts is incredibly short-lived, and it always ends in mental stress, loss, and regret. Divine wisdom demands choosing honesty for sure, even if it takes a little longer to get there.
All right, Section 3, Chapter 3, Complete Trust, Surrendering Control for Clear Paths. So how do we actually trust God when circumstances get incredibly difficult and our own logic entirely fails us? Well, the answer is found in one of the most powerful life-changing rules in the text. Proverbs 3:5-6 tells us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. When a crisis hits, our gut instinct is to furiously lean on our past experiences and our human cleverness, staying up all night stressing out. But this instruction flips the script completely. It tells us to stop relying on our own limited reasoning.
The target number here, 100%. We are instructed to place 100% of our trust in God's limitless understanding. The text suggests that we essentially have to zero out our own intellect. When you hand over every single decision, big or small, in prayer, admitting that your own understanding has maxed out, that is exactly when the closed doors open. That's when those tangled, difficult paths are finally made straight.
Proverbs 3 also reveals this profound secret regarding wealth.
The world's rule dictates that to get rich, you have to hoard everything, save every penny just for yourself. But God's rule, it is the exact opposite. Honor God first with your wealth and the first fruits of your labor, and it invites overflowing, boundless blessings. When you generously give God the first place with your time and your resources, even a little bit of hard work gets multiplied into immense, unshakable success. It's a total game changer.
And just a quick but super essential note from chapter 3, do not despise God's discipline. A truly wise person accepts course correction. Look, when we're heading down the wrong path, God often uses circumstances to block us. Wisdom is humbly accepting that redirection and learning from our mistakes, rather than fighting against it.
Moving on to Section 4, Chapter 8, Wisdom's Value, the True Worth of Divine Insight.
In Chapter 8, wisdom is actually beautifully personified. Just look at this incredible quote from Proverbs 8:10-11. "Choose my instruction instead of silver, knowledge rather than choice gold, for wisdom is more precious than rubies." The entire world is out there running after bank balances, fancy titles, and gold, falsely believing that having enough money will solve every single problem. But the text reminds us that wealth without the wisdom to manage it actually leads straight to destruction. Think about it like this. You could possess all the gold and silver in the world, but if you lack divine wisdom, you will inevitably lose it all. However, if you possess divine wisdom, the text assures us that you can start from absolute zero, literally nothing, and achieve immense success and respect. Wisdom is the true currency of a successful life. According to verses 14 through 16 of chapter 8, divine wisdom brings some incredible tangible benefits. It brings exceptional leadership and righteous judgment, meaning the absolute greatest leaders and business people succeed precisely because they follow these rules. It also brings true spiritual peace, long life, honor, and a lasting, unshakable success that makes your very life a beautiful testimony to everyone around you. You really don't need worldly cunning to stand out. You just need divine wisdom. Finally, Section 5, Rules for Divine Success, Applying Proverbs to Your Daily Life.
Okay, let's distill everything we've talked about into a really practical framework you can use today. It's a simple 3-step process based on our journey through the text. Step 1, honor God over worldly shortcuts. Remember, Proverbs 1, reverence is the beginning, and dishonest shortcuts just lead to ruin. Step 2, trust completely, abandoning your flawed human logic. That's that 100% reliance we saw back in Proverbs 3. And step 3, value divine wisdom above all earthly wealth, as Proverbs 8 so beautifully illustrates.
The source material concludes with this really powerful moment of reflection, and I want to share the essence of that with you now. It invites us to just pause, let go of past mistakes where we stubbornly relied on our own understanding, and simply ask for the very same divine wisdom that was given to King Solomon. It's all about replacing our deep, exhausting human anxiety with divine peace, trusting that when we fully surrender our decisions, the closed doors in our lives will finally swing open.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder as you step back into your day. When you face your next big decision, your next crossroads at work or at home, will you rely on your own limited, stress-inducing understanding? Or will you pause, humble yourself, and ask for divine wisdom? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and whatever you do, keep seeking wisdom.